an idea. The Avengers Initiative.
A genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Big fan of Spider-Man.
Quick.
What's up, Tic Tac?
I understood that reference. I am Iron Man.
Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Time travel. Dance off, bro.
Bitch, please, you've been to space.
Language.
Did I step on your moment?
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
We're not finished yet.
And then shawarma after.
Welcome back to the Shawarma Joint. I am one of your hosts, Ella.
And I'm your other host, Andrea.
If you have been following us, you might have noticed that we took a quite long break.
As explained in the past, we are 2 teenage girls, so we have school and summer, and it was a very, very busy summer for us. So it seems like the Shawarma Joint will now become a more school year-based podcast. So now we're ready to jump back into it. But it was, again, a very successful summer. Ella, you want to talk about where you were this summer?
I went to film camp in New York.
Woo!
Yeah, and while I was at film camp, I went with a group of people to go see Black Widow.
Oh, love Black Widow. We have lots to talk about. This is not going to be a Black Widow specific episode, but we obviously have to reference it. A lot of people seem disappointed with it, but don't think it was a bad movie at all. It was just poorly timed in the MCU. Not only should it have come out pre-pandemic, but it should have come out at the time. It shouldn't have needed to be a prequel. It should have been at the time of Civil War.
I agree.
So on that degree of this, it's just a little frustrating to see that it took so long to get this movie, but I think it was a success.
I think it was a success. I do agree that it could have been better, but I think, like you said, part of it was that it didn't come out when it was supposed to in the timeline. But I'm not saying it's bad at all. And I had great messages, like underlying messages of human trafficking and women, obviously empowering women. And
there was a lot about the importance of women's choices, and that not only the choice to have children or not, but that not all women necessarily want it. And we learned that with Yelena, who said that she just wanted that option and she wanted her dog, which we love, little Fanny Longbottom the dog. Speaking of Yelena, yay.
Can't wait to see her in Hawkeye.
That end credit scene caused a bit of stress. I was just waiting for her to whistle back.
Yeah.
And, oh, by the way, spoiler warnings in Black Widow. That seems important to have mentioned. Yeah, if you have not seen Black Widow, go fix that, because we will continue to spoil things for you if you do not. So, sucks to suck. But on the note of the important messages, there really was a lot of women empowerment in telling us we can do anything, and that strength comes by all staying together, which I love and miss Natasha Romanoff. So at least we got this big last hurrah from her, just sending love to all the girls she inspired.
Yeah. And another movie that has recently come out for Marvel was Shang Chi.
Yes, Shang-Chi!
Definitely a top 3 movie for me.
I think after Black Panther, it's my favorite Marvel origin story.
It's so definitely up there.
I thought not only was it an interesting plot, and they didn't just force it in, say we have enough CGI, we have enough action, the plot can be weak. It was a very strong plot. A lot into each character. The decisions seemed very accurate for the character's goals. And great comedy scenes.
Yes. And I loved the villain, because I feel like a lot of times in like the earlier Marvel movies, people didn't really like the villains because they were motivated just for wanting power. But the villain in this one was motivated to find his love. And I think that's also why people like Killmonger so much, because he wasn't motivated just for power. He wanted to help people like him.
Yeah, so if you guys remember from our first Shawarma Joint episode, we were talking about our favorite villains and the villains we thought were the best written. And Ella and I both agree that Killmonger is just the best villain of the MCU yet. But yes, Shang-Chi was absolutely amazing. And not only was it amazing as an MCU movie, but there's just so much culture and legacy and history woven into that, each frame. And it was so beautiful to get to experience that.
Yeah, walking out of the theater, my dad was like, that was so amazing. It doesn't even need to be a Marvel movie. Like, it could stand by itself.
It really did
Yeah.
feel like a good standalone film.
Yes.
But it also seemed like a lot of it will tie in later, such
Mhm.
as the
End credit scene.
well, not even the end credit scene all by itself, yes, but that whole place where the dragons were being kept and the demons were being kept is actually like a multiversal place to keep these dangerous gods of folklore. So that will definitely tie in. I was really curious as they were talking about all that stuff if there was any connections to deviants, as we know Eternals is coming, but I definitely think it's going to tie in one way or another, and we'll only get to look back at Shang-Chi and see how much it set up without us knowing. Probably the biggest gain from this movie, apart from our newest Avenger, who is so fun, and we love Simu, and we're definitely going to get back to talking about Simu in a second, is just a new hero for so many people around the world to get to look up to. Because we were just talking about Black Widow. As two teenage girls, we got to see ourselves on screen with Natasha, and we got to see her stand up for us and talk about the power of our choices. And now so many people around the world will have their first Asian leading hero. And Simu Liu is the perfect person to take on this role.
Yes. And I feel like more than anyone, he wanted it.
Yes, and honestly, it reminds me a little bit of Chris Evans taking on the role of
Yes.
Cap, just genuinely wanting to be this hero for so many people. And Anthony Mackie becoming Captain America and being a Black Captain America, and the Falcon Winter Soldier show really took on the fact that it's not so simple to be that role as a Black man in American society. And Anthony Mackie really seems to want to be a hero to all those people. And it just shows how much Marvel is growing and how much they want to represent their people and their fans.
Exactly. Yeah.
We also have to give credit to Justin Daniel Cretton, the director.
Yes, he did a great job.
The cinematography of this movie
Gorgeous.
was absolutely gorgeous. And again, it fit into all of the true to Asian culture themes. I've been taking Chinese as my language since 6th grade. So we also dive a lot into Chinese culture. So I just got to see everything that I've learned about Chinese culture represented, and I can't imagine how it must feel to finally see yourself on that screen. And I got to understand when they were speaking in Mandarin, and that was so cool. And I just think about how many people in China, because China has a big bulk of Marvel fans, how many of them are watching movies with English subtitles and finally got to hear their own languages. It's amazing.
It's so cool. And I know we talked about Simu and Shang-Chi as a whole, but the rest of the cast and their characters just as amazing. Just as amazing. Meng Zhang played Sha Ling, who was quite the powerhouse.
What an amazing, amazing character that we brought. Another credible sibling duo. I really hope that one of them doesn't die because we have a bad track record here.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of Nat and Elena.
Mm-hmm.
Just that sense of, hey, our parents own this, organization that's training us to be mass murderers. This seems like not so fun. What do we do about this?
Mm-hmm.
10 Ladies Red Room had similar vibes for me, but they had completely different emotions, and it was just really well done.
And also adding on, this wasn't very important, but it kind of is. Meng Zhang also met her husband on set.
Wasn't this her first movie?
Yeah, it was her first movie, and she met her husband.
She learned how to fight. She learns intense taekwondo and martial arts. Met her husband on set. Fought stereotypes. Apparently, her hair was originally streaked,
Yes.
and that's a common stereotype with like strong Asian women in film. And she said, "Let's not do that." And she said that Marvel was great and catered to that and went in and fixed all the frames. But
good for her. Like, yes.
this was such an amazing cast. And
Awkwafina. And Tony Leung as the villain.
Absolutely incredible. Brought so much depth to the character.
Yes.
Because
he's amazing in everything.
You were saying you felt that it was all for the love of his wife, but more than that, it still had that intense layer of wanting power.
Yes.
And he was kind of torn between, and both of them had him on the same path.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Kingsley as Trevor. He did not get a proper character arc in Iron Man. Morris is my best friend.
What I was happy about why I was happy about them bringing back Trevor was because he used the name the Mandarin, which did not fit him at all because that he stole that name. That's not a name that he should have used. And I'm happy that they went back and they said, I don't know if any of you listening have watched the short film on Disney Plus, All Hail the King. It goes back to when it's from 2014, and it goes back to when Trevor was originally put in jail for what he did. And there's a scene where somebody comes to get him, and they kill everybody in the room except him. And they said, and Trevor's like, kill me. You won't do it. He's like, I won't do it. I'm going to take you to someone because he's mad that you stole his name. And the guy who takes Trevor has the 10 rings on his arm.
It's just so well set up, and that reminds us of Marvel really is laying Easter eggs and trying to make everything special for the fans.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about the post-credit scene.
I
Bruce
know.
Banner not having.
Forget.
Smart Hulk.
A lot of people asked me after the movie, they were like, why is he in the cast? Did you not see Endgame? But it's more important that he's not
Smart Hulk.
Exactly.
I saw Endgame. I know he has the cast, but why is he not big and green is my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so excited. Wong is the moment.
I'm very excited to see him in Spider-Man. And in future projects just in general, and Doctor Strange and everything. He's just incredido as Wong.
And we know that Spider-Man's going to destroy the box office and everyone's going to be insane.
But Shang-Chi also destroyed the box office.
It's maintained an epic 90 million domestically over the 4-day Labor Day weekend, which a lot of people are saying, hey, Marvel films should do way better than that. But it's a post-pandemic era. This is a only in theaters release that Marvel really wasn't certain about trying, and it worked out incredibly. They have the highest box office rate since the pandemic. They actually were so incredible that Sony, which has obvious ties to Marvel, moved up Venom Let There Be Carnage to October 1st from the 15th, which is a 2-week move up, which might not seem like a lot, but really it is.
Yeah, they were talking about pushing it back, but Shang-Chi has shown that cinema is back.
Reinvigorated theaters and brought a whole new age to Marvel because Phase 4 had already started the Black Widow, but this is the first of the Phase 4 present day timeline that we've really got in. I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
I missed it. And let's do a quick deep dive into Emilio's history because I'm sure you've all heard about it by now.
I think we're both excited to talk about this.
Yes, we are.
He was a model for stock images. Have you heard the whole story behind it?
I think so.
That he barely got paid for it.
Yes, did he make $100?
Yeah.
He did this whole photo shoot. But for stock photos like this, it's not getting paid each time the photo is used. You get your blank check and that's it.
And he got paid, I think it was either like $100 or $110.
Yeah. And he did a full photo shoot and the internet has taken over. And the reason I think we all love Simo so much already is because not only are the stock photos taking over the internet, but he's replying to them. He's using them. He just is, you can tell how excited he is to be in the MCU, and that makes us fans love him that much more.
Yeah. And he was at the Met Gala and looked great. He even hopped over the hedges, literally jumped over them to go say hi to his fans. What a man.
And he's had a big journey to get to Shang-Chi. He, in 2014, tweeted to Marvel, hey, Marvel, great job with Captain America and Thor. Now how about an Asian American hero?
And then on December of 2018, he said, okay, Marvel, are we going to talk or what? Hashtag Shang-Chi.
It's been 7 years, and look where the stock photo king is now.
Yes. What a journey.
What a journey indeed. He even now has a Build-A-Bear after Shang-Chi, which again just shows how many little kids are going to get to grow up with a Build-A-Bear of a hero who looks just like them. Think about Halloween is coming up. How many Halloween costumes will be of Shang-Chi or people having their own heritage?
Yeah, I went to Disney recently, and all the Marvel stores there are full of Shang-Chi stuff. There's even in Disney Springs, in front of the movie theater, there is a whole Shang-Chi photo op and posters of all the characters.
That makes me so happy. It's like, think about how big of a cultural phenomenon Black Panther was and how the soundtrack reflected the characters' roots, just like this soundtrack was, again, So incredible. Down to Hotel California. It was an amazing, amazing soundtrack.
Yes. So, although Shang Chi was absolutely incredible, breathtaking, outstanding, we have
Did you tell we liked the movie?
We have some other incredible, outstanding, breathtaking new Marvel projects coming up this year. We have the Eternals coming out in November, which I have a deep connection to. I love all the characters in the Eternals so much, and I'm just dying to see it. The director of the Eternals, Chloe Zhao, is Chinese, and she just won an Oscar for Best Director, which is incredible. She is the second woman to ever win Best Director at the Oscars and the first Asian woman to ever win.
She is absolutely incredible, and she won for Nomadland
with Frances McDormand. Highly recommend you see it.
Which was, again, a cultural phenomenon. So the fact that Eternals has such a diverse cast with so much representation, with her at the front seat steering the wheel, it's going to be such an incredible opportunity for Marvel to show representation in their heroes again, like with Shang-Chi.
Yeah. One of the main characters in the Eternals is Cersei, being played by Gemma Chan, who was in Captain Marvel as a different role. But I think Cersei is such a strong character. I'm so excited to see her on the big screen, especially as Gemma Chan. So that is very exciting.
We also, in Eternals, continuing this incredible diversity in the cast, we have Kingo being played by Kumail Nanjiani, and he is so funny. Everything he's in, I'm always like, oh yes, incredible. And again, I love funny characters. We miss Tony, so bring him back, please.
And we have Salma Hayek, like Ajak, and Salma Hayek is just great in everything.
Yes.
Like, when has she not been amazing? So, very excited for the Eternals. I've been dying for them to make an Eternals movie for forever. Also in November, we are getting the Hawkeye show. And in the trailer, we finally think we're getting a comic accurate Hawkeye because he has his hearing aids. So I'm guessing that means that he will be deaf.
Which again is so exciting because talk about representation. I don't think we've really had a deaf superhero yet.
I don't think so. Matt Murdock was blind.
Hopefully he'll be entering the MCU as well. But
there's a lot to unpack there.
Spider-Man No Way Home. We know he wasn't in the lawyer scene. Charlie Cox, where you at?
Exactly.
And we also have coming up soon, I believe next year, is Ms.Marvel with Kamala Khan.
Yes.
Who is close to Elena. I mean, she's another young teenage girl.
Yeah. Do you know the story about her? She is a Marvel fan, Captain Marvel, I think. And when she gets her power, she becomes Miss Marvel after Captain Marvel.
So she's us.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
I'm just so excited to see this whole new age of superheroes coming. And cannot wait for Spider-Man No Way Home and Hawkeye.
And another project that I am absolutely dying to see, Moon Knight. Oscar Isaac, Hispanic lead. I'm so excited for Moon Knight.
And Blade.
Oh my god.
Such a talented actor.
Such a major character too. Such an iconic character.
Blade has already been done, but not
to this extent.
And we now have zombies in the MCU, so can't wait for vampires, you know? Yes, this is where we've gone, and I'm excited. Also, hopefully soon we will be getting Miles Morales in the MCU.
Please. And Marvel, if you're listening, cast Caleb McLaughlin, please.
Yes, please. Again, please. Perfect.
Yes. If you haven't seen him in Stranger Things, go watch Stranger Things. Avery.
Next on my list, I do not do so well with horror team, so I've been pushing it off, but I think I finally just given in. So
you have to. It's like everybody go watch Stranger Things after this episode.
Deep dive. All right.
Speaking of which, when we finish recording this episode, we're going to watch Spider-Man 2.
Yes, it's got to be
the best Spider-Man movie after Into the Spider-Verse. Tobey Maguire's the best Spider-Man. He's the best movies.
We just know with Spider-Man coming out, it's time to do a rewatch. We need to be on our A game for you guys.
Yeah.
For the Shawarma Joint.
Yes.
Not for any selfish reasons that we just want to watch the movie, of course.
Yeah.
No.
Because Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man.
Well, I think Tom Holland is, but I can still appreciate how amazing the movie is.
Yeah, well, that's wrong.
I disagree. I think he's by far the best Peter Parker, and that makes him the best Spider-Man, but we're not going to get back into this debate. As you can see, there is an incredible future set up for Marvel in Phase 4 and beyond, and we are so excited not only for the incredible plots that lie ahead, but the immense amount of diversity and representation in the future heroes.
Yes.
As you guys know, we do ending quotes here at the Shawarma Joint to close off our podcast. So,
without further ado,
welcome to the Hotel California.